Hello, YouTube. No one tagged me. And even if anyone did tag me, I would have no idea how to even see that someone tagged me. So I guess I'd get it in my notifications. And I really don't check my notifications. So, well, I have 5 fragrances I love and 5 fragrances I hate. Then I have a fragrance. It's not really a fragrance, but it's a brand that, I love to hate. Well, I don't really love to hate it, but it's a love. Jesus Christ. It's a love and a hate for me. I would never shill out for anyone. Wayne's World. But I want to start out with the fragrances I hate. You know, like if someone says, I have some good news and some bad news for you. My family always says, well, give me the bad news first. So I'm going to go with the bad. First up on my, and I'm going to say there's 3 of these fragrances I don't have in my collection, and I don't want them in my collection. So here you go. First up, it is Amouage Reflection Man. You know, the greatest complimenter of all time. This is what every man should smell like in a white t-shirt dressed up, you know. Blah, 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 so on and so forth. I just get flour tortilla, Jesus Christ, what's up with me? I get flour tortilla and dirty, it's like a dog, like the cedar chips you put in a dog lot. It's like that, but like after a rainy day and the dog got wet and laid in it. There's some metallic notes in there, just absolutely terrible. And you cannot tell me this is a real Swarovski stone. Sorry, I'm not buying that. It's probably plastic. I bet it's plastic. Up next is actually an indie house. And I've gone back and forth with this brand, and I think I'm just going to keep this opinion on them. And that is Slumber House. This is Sova. Used to love this. Now all this smells like to me is the... you remember on the old vacuum cleaners, how they would have a belt? And then like if you got like stuck in a carpet or something, or a twig got up under there, and that belt would start to get hot. That's what this smells like to me now. Straight up, that's what it smells like, so. And here's some fragrances I don't have. First off is Gree Dior. Now, I know what you're saying. I do like a lot of the Dior exclusives, but Gree Dior to me is not a love. Gree Dior to me is a very gray, depressing fragrance. It makes me depressed, honestly. Every time I wear it, I just think about going to the bathroom and taking a bath with a toaster or making out with a power outlet. It's very depressing. It's a nice perfume. It's a nice take on that style of chypre, I guess you could say, like a lot of perfumes are trying to go towards nowadays. That very stale, dead type thing. But it just smells like depressing to me. Honestly, I think I need... My stand won't hold up. I think I need like some Adderall or something after I smell it. I just don't want to smell it anymore. 3. Okay. And 4 for my hates is Herod Exclusive. No, that stuff is honestly, when I sprayed it on, not Herod Exclusive, Pegasus Exclusive, you could throw the whole house of Parfums de Marly in there anyway. As soon as I sprayed it on, bam! Honestly, it felt like someone punched me in the nose. It's like bam! It just like the synthetics hit me so hard, I instantly got a headache. I'm not crapping you guys. I'm not shitting you guys. It literally was like someone just punched me right in my nose. Synthetics, like I got a headache. I had to leave the store. I couldn't take it. Just absolutely awful. Just 100%, 1000% synthetic. Honestly, I don't think there's any real natural notes. I don't think there's any natural notes in Parfums de Marly at all. They all smell fake. They all smell like that they rolled off the assembly line and just absolutely sucks. And my 5th one, I chose to pick a regular, basic designer fragrance. I'm not going to pick Aqua de Jo. I'm not going to pick Dior Sauvage or Dylan Blue or really any blue fragrance out there. I just decided I would just pick a regular, normal, boring fragrance. And that's the one I was going to choose. There were some fragrances on other people's videos I watched. I was like, man, you know, I like that one. Like Rudy put Spiritually Double Vanille in his video. He said to sum it up, he said he gets just a lot of vanilla out of it. I don't get a lot of vanilla out of it. I get a little bit. I'm not sure we have different, bottles. But nonetheless, I gotta throw that in there. One fragrance I personally absolutely hate from a designer house, and that is Gucci Envy. I do not like Gucci Envy. I don't. I smelled it early on in my journey when I heard it was being discontinued. I smelled it again, and no matter how hard I try, I don't like it. I don't. It just smells like it smells like you take some vetiver and put it in your grandpa's crotch. You know that old man smell? Just like if you go to like an old person's house. That's what I get out of Gucci Envy. And I don't like it. But on a fragrance in a house I love to hate, and I wasn't going to throw this in there, but I thought this would be a nice segue, Paul Blart, to add to the video is a fragrance house that I love it, but I also hate it at the same time. And that would be Guerlain. You see Queer Beluga. I have not worn this a lot. Believe it or not, I have not worn this a lot. I got this about 2 years ago, and it started evaporating. I even put some put some Teflon tape around it to try to stop some of the evaporation. It doesn't matter. It still evaporates out of the atomizer. And the top notes in this are gone. I'm just going to be 100% honest with you. You spray it on your skin, you don't smell it. You don't. About 4 or 5 hours later, you'll pick up hints off the skin. With this, honestly, it's so sad. And I've talked to several other people, and this has happened to their Guerlains in this bottle. With this cap, even with no cap on, and the bulb atomizer. And I honestly hate Guerlain for that. And even this one too, Angelique Noir. I think it's a beautiful fragrance. A lot of people don't like it, but I love it. I haven't worn this that much either. I got this a year ago. I think this bottle is starting to evaporate as well. And I noticed that with a lot of my Guerlains. And I'm not saying that tongue-in-cheek, saying, oh, I wear these all the time. Saying like, oh, it's starting to evaporate, ha ha. But no, and I wear it every day. But I'm being serious, and it's really aggravating because you spend a lot of money on these. I really didn't spend a lot of money on these because I bought them when they were cheap, but it's really aggravating, and I hate that about Guerlain. Guerlain knew about that when these bottles came out. Guerlain knew about that when it was in this bottle. They knew that it was evaporating, and I've talked to other people, and theirs have evaporated as well. Same with my Spiritually Double Vanille. Same as my Encens Mythique and my Rose Nacree and my Sange de Bois d'été. Same thing, but Guerlain isn't going to do anything about it. I mean, even if I would try to take it back, they don't really sell those anymore anyway. So. Anyways, here are my top 5 fragrances. This is not my top 5 fragrances of all time, but these are 5 fragrances I love. I do love every one of these. Every one of these holds a special place in my heart. Some good times. I don't think I've had any bad times with these fragrances. Jesus. I'm not sick. I am sick in other ways, but nonetheless, I want to start off with Leather Oud. Yes, this is the reformulated version, but I don't mind because it is, when they reformulated this, I don't really think they took out any stank. I don't think they took out any skank. I don't think they really took out any animalics. I just think that they just made it less potent. And fine by me, because I can wear more of it. I can just put on a couple extra sprays, Might not project as much. Other people might not be able to smell me. But I absolutely love this. And this is really a Patchouli Bomb. about 2 years ago. Yeah, 2 years ago. I went over to a friend's house and we smoked cigars and sat outside and talked. And as soon as I walked in, he said, "Man, you smell like patchouli. Have you been smoking weed?" And I was like, "No, man, I don't smoke weed." And it was this. I was wearing this. I actually think this is just as good of a patchouli fragrance as Patchouli Imperial. I think this has more depth and is much nicer. Believe it or not, 3 of these are predominantly patchouli fragrances. And I want to put a disclaimer with this one. I loved this fragrance when nobody else loved it. When other people were dogging it on their channels, I loved it. Before anyone did a review on it, I loved it. I loved it ever since it came out. I got a bottle. When I first smelled it, I can't remember when I first smelled it. And it is Monsieur by Frederic Malle, and the perfumer is Bruno Jovanovic. And I'm going to be doing a review on this pretty soon. And this fragrance to me, crap, I can't get the cap off. Come on. There we go. It's like squeezing out a nut. And this fragrance is a study on patchouli. Now, I know I say that, now everyone else is going to say it. But this fragrance is a study on patchouli. It honestly is. Frederic Malle, I think that he commissioned Bruno Jovanovic and said, "Listen, I want you to do a study on patchouli and make it the most French, the most masculine thing that you could make it." And he did that. He succeeded. With some nice orange in here, some rum, woody notes. It's absolutely beautiful. Going to be doing a review on this, so don't want to talk about it too much. Up next is another patchouli fragrance, and the last patchouli fragrance in here. Even though both of them, the other ones have patchouli notes, but they're not patchouli dominant. It is Coromandel. This is an EDP. I wish I had the EDT. And the EDTs just pop off the skin so much better. They really do. The EDPs are more flat and kind of linear. Oh, man, but I just melt in my seat every time I smell this. Orris, white chocolate, the Chanel Aid, a little bit of aldehydes, some incense, patchouli. And this isn't a dirty patchouli. This isn't necessarily a study on patchouli like this is. I don't know if this if it's blonde patchouli. I don't even know if that's actually a thing. But I'm going to call it blonde patchouli. It's very smooth, very elegant, very Chanel, very classy. Absolutely love this stuff. This is a bomb off my skin. People talk about Coromandel's lack of performance. I don't think so. I think that's just how Chanel does some of their perfumes. And I think that's how a lot of iris dominant fragrances are anyway. Just really plays with your skin. A lot of the heat, emotion. I think it does a lot better, honestly, in performance in the colder weather than it does the warmer weather. Sandalwood in here as well. I know I'm missing some stuff in it, but masterpiece. Up next is a fragrance that a lot of people might know about and a lot of people might know about. It contains real Mysore sandalwood. It contains Orris, and it is Rising Mysore 3 by Dixit and Zag. An absolutely beautiful fragrance. Smells real. This is a 100% natural fragrance. Smells real. Has a top, middle, and base note. Top, middle, and base. You can wear it. You can smell it. It is beautiful. It is well blended, and it is well composed. And last, but certainly not least, is the true definition of what it means to be a designer exclusive. A privé, whatever you want to call it. And that is Ombre Nomad. Ombre Nomad is a beautiful rose oud fragrance. And I know what you're thinking. Oh, another rose oud. But trust me, rose oud done right. Probably the best rose oud fragrance in the world. Beautiful raspberry in here too. I honestly like wearing this better than I do the Moon, even though I think the Moon is a better fragrance. But this is beautiful. You get compliments on this all the time. I'm not a huge guy on compliments, but I can't tell you how many times I've been complimented on this. Sadly, I heard it was reformulated. I'm not trying to start rumors, but that's what I heard. So these are 5 fragrances I hate and 5 fragrances I love. Hope everyone has a terrible day.